Hi everyone and welcome back to another lesson from Korean Studio. My name is Kim Gi-hwan. Now, there is nothing worse than being ill on your travels. You can't do all the fun things you planned, and if you do need to go and see a doctor or go to a pharmacy, there is that little issue of having to explain the symptoms you have and asking for the things you need. So in today's lesson, we're going to learn the key phrases you need if you do need to go to a pharmacy in Korea. So let's first begin by learning how to ask for a specific medication. 안녕하세요. 감기약 있어요? Hello, do you have cold medicine? 안녕하세요. 감기약 있어요? So first we can greet the pharmacist by saying 안녕하세요. And then we have the key question, 감기약 있어요. 감기약 means cold medicine. 감기 is the word for a cold and 약 means medicine. So together, 감기약 means cold medicine. And then we have this question phrase, 있어요, which can mean do you have. So when we put the two together and say 감기약 있어요, it means do you have cold medicine? And here we can substitute 감기약 with other medications and ask for different kinds of medicine. So we could ask for 두통약, headache medicine, and here 두통 means headache. 기침약, cough medicine, and 기침 means cough. 설사약, diarrhea medicine, and as you can imagine, 설사 means diarrhea. And some medicine names end in 제, and 제 also means medicine. So we have 진통제, painkiller, and 소화제, digestive medicine. Now, after we've asked for a specific medication, the pharmacist may ask, 어떤 증상이 있어요? What symptoms do you have? 어떤 증상이 있어요? 어떤 can mean what or which, and 증상 means symptom. So 어떤 증상 can mean what symptom or what symptoms. And then again, we have the question phrase 있어요, do you have? So together, 어떤 증상이 있어요 means what symptoms do you have? Let's take a look at how we can answer this question. 목이 아프고 콧물이 나요. My throat hurts and I have a runny nose. 목이 아프고 콧물이 나요. First, the key phrase is 목이 아프다. 목 can mean neck, but it can also mean throat depending on context. And then we have the key adjective 아프다, which means to hurt. So when we say 목이 아프다, it means my neck hurts or my throat hurts, depending on the context. And in this phrase, we can substitute 목 with different parts of the body to describe pain in different areas. So we can say 눈이 아프다, my eye hurts. And the polite form of 아프다 is 아파요. So we can say 눈이 아파요. If your feet hurt, you can say 발이 아프다, 발이 아파요. And if your ears hurt, you can say 귀가 아프다, 귀가 아파요. And in the main sentence, we've added 고 to 아프다, and 고 means and. So when we say 목이 아프고, it means my throat hurts and. And the second symptom is 콧물이 나요. I have a runny nose. 콧물 refers to the liquid, the snot that comes out of your nose. And then here we have the verb 나요. And the verb 나요 has many different uses in Korean. And one of them is to talk about liquid flowing out of our body. So we can say 콧물이 나요 to talk about having a runny nose. But we can also say 눈물이 나요 to talk about tears flowing out of our eyes. And we can also say 땀이 나요. And 땀 means sweat. So 땀이 나요 means that sweat is flowing out of our body. I am sweating. Another common verb we use to talk about having symptoms is 있다. And as mentioned already, 있다, 있어요 is used to talk about having something. So if you have a fever, temperature, you can say 열이 있다, 열이 있어요. If you have a cough, you can say 기침이 있다, 기침이 있어요. And if you have a headache, you can say 두통이 있다, 두통이 있어요. Now, if you have an indigestion, we don't use 있다. Instead, we say this. 소화가 안 돼요. I have indigestion. 소화가 안 돼요. The key word is 소화, which refers to your digestion. And then we have this phrase 안 돼요. And we use this phrase 안 돼요 to talk about something not working. So when we say 소화가 안 돼요, it means that our digestion is not working. I have indigestion. 소화가 안 돼요. Now, after we've explained our symptoms to the pharmacist may say, 그럼 감기약 드릴게요. Then I'll give you the cold medicine. 그럼 감기약 드릴게요. 그럼 means then, and 감기약, as mentioned before, means cold medicine, and 드릴게요 means will give. This combines the verb 드리다, which means to give, and this is the honorific form. And then we have the ending 드릴게요, which means will. So when we combine the two together and make 드릴게요, it means will give. So 그럼 감기약 드릴게요 means then I'll give you cold medicine. Now here's how we can ask how many times in a day we have to take a medicine. 이 약은 하루에 몇 번 먹어야 해요? How many times a day should I take this medicine? 이 약은 하루에 몇 번 먹어야 해요? First, we have 이 약, meaning this medicine, and it's used with a topic marking particle 은. Then we have 하루, and this means a day, and this is used with the particle 에, which is often used with time phrases. Then we have 몇 번, meaning how many times. 몇 means how many, 번 can mean times. So together, 몇 번 means how many times. And lastly, we have this phrase 먹어야 해요, which means should I eat or should I take? This verb phrase combines the verb 먹다, which means to eat, and when we talk about taking medicine in Korean, we use the verb 먹다. And then we add the ending 어야 하다, 어야 해요, which can mean have to or should. So when we combine the two together and make 먹어야 해요, it can mean should I eat or should I take? So altogether, 이 약은 하루에 몇 번 먹어야 해요? How many times a day should I take this medicine? 이 약은 하루에 몇 번 먹어야 해요? Now, in response, the pharmacist may say, 하루에 3번 드세요. Please take it 3 times a day. 하루에 3번 드세요. So 하루에 means in a day. As mentioned already, 하루 means a day, and 에 is a particle we use with time phrases. 3번 means 3 times. 세 is a shortened form of the native Korean number 셋, meaning 3, and 번 means times. So 3번 means 3 times. And lastly, we have 드세요, which means please eat or please take. And this uses the verb 드시다, which is the honorific form of 먹다. And the pharmacist will use the honorific form as he or she will be talking to the customer. So altogether, 하루에 3번 드세요 means please take it 3 times a day. 하루에 3번 드세요. Now, in response, we might want to ask whether we need to take the medicine before meal or after meal. And here's how we can ask that question. 식전이에요, 식후예요? Is it before meals or after meals? 식전이에요, 식후예요? Now first we have 식전, and this means before meal. The syllable 식 can mean meal or eating, and 전 means before. So 식전 means before meal. And then we have this word 이에요, which functions like the verb to be. So when we ask 식전이에요, it means is it before meals? And then we have a similar line of questioning, 식후예요. And in 식후, 후 means after. So 식후 means after meal, and 예요 functions like the verb to be. So 식후예요 means is it after meal? Now in Korean, whenever we want to ask questions like is it before meals or after meals, to indicate this meaning of or, we don't use particles like 나, 이나, or 거나. Instead, we basically ask 2 questions together at the same time. So if you wanted to ask someone, do you like coffee or tea? We don't use particles like 나, 이나, or 거나. Instead, we would ask, do you like coffee? Do you like tea? And that's how we would ask the question. So we would ask, 커피 좋아해요? 차 좋아해요? And this literally means, do you like coffee? Do you like tea? But we will loosely translate it to mean, do you like coffee or tea? And similarly, in this question, when we say 식전이에요, 식후예요, we're literally asking, is it before meal? Is it after meal? But we can loosely translate this question as, is it before meals or after meals? 식전이에요, 식후예요? And after that, the pharmacist may tell you, 식전에 드세요. Please take it before meal. And then you can pay for your medication, and hopefully the medication will help you to alleviate the problems that you're having. Now, as mentioned earlier in the video, we hope that you never have to go and see a doctor or a pharmacist in Korea. But if you do need to go to a pharmacy and ask for medication, I hope the phrases that you learned in this video comes in handy. That's it for today. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you soon again. Bye-bye.